Trey Mann is currently the only Charlotte Hornet shooting above 90% from the free throw line. We need our boy back. Welcome back to the Six Hornet Podcast, where being the sixth man means bringing the noise without checking into the game. I'm Eric Smith, your host. As always, if you're on YouTube, please remember to hit that subscribe button. Quest to 100 subs by the end of November. Probably not happening, but again, we can always still strive for it. A like on the video goes a long way. Remember to comment below with your thoughts throughout the video. So if you didn't watch the Pacers-Hornets game on Wednesday night, don't get fooled by the box score. This team got absolutely smashed. I will say, not only did the Hornets lose to a Pacers team who at the time only had one win on the season, they through the first three quarters, 20-point deficit heading into the fourth. This is a Pacers team that's already out all-star point guard Tyrese Halliburton. They were down Obi Toppin, Aaron Nesmith, Cam Jones, Quinn Jackson. They were down half their team, quite frankly. And this Hornets team still looked lost for 3 quarters straight. That's all really to say that I feel like this team really needs Brandon Miller back. For 2 reasons. One, because I believe he's an impactful player. I think you win more games with Brandon Miller on the court. But 2, you have to be able to fully evaluate this Hornets big 3 in Ball, Miller, and Knueppel. And I'm kind of excited because there was some news today that Charlotte Hornets PR tweeted. They have transferred Drew Peterson, Antonio Reeves, and KJ Simpson to the Greensboro Swarm. That could mean a few things, but I think the favorite thing on my mind is Brandon Miller's ready for this game against the Clippers. It'd be amazing just to see him back. I just think, especially with closing out games recently, like the Hornets have lost because they can't close out. And I think this team could probably be 500 right now if they could. And I think Brandon Miller is going to help that. But just beyond that, Brandon Miller, you bring his size in, his length back as a wing. So his scoring versatility, creating shots off the dribble, driving to the basket, just flashes of that legit stardom from the young man, I think is going to do wonders for this squad. You can say his defensive impact isn't elite yet, but he has all the tools to be a great one. I still think he's a great two-way impact. He could probably add a few pounds of weight, but I don't want him sacrificing that lateral agility for that. But I think he's 205 now. He's fine. But like I've said before, this season has been all about player development. And you have to have your best guys healthy to continue that development. So really needing Brandon Miller back if you really want a chance to win, because the Hornets are not winning right now. And I think until you get Brandon Miller back on the floor, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. There are some other reasons why the Hornets lost this game too, but I think just adding him back is going to do tremendous things. I will say Kon Knueppel, he's going to be a star. Fewest games to 50 career three-pointers. Guess who's number 1 on that list? Kon Knueppel through 15 games. I mean, that's awesome. That you can't. Again, it feels like every episode we're giving praise to Kon Knueppel. So, second on that list, Jordan Hawkins. 3, Armenian Brooks. 4, Lauri Markkanen. So, Knueppel is in rare form, and I think you could sit here and argue, and this is probably reserved for another podcast, but you could sit here and say, man, I think you could build around Kon Knueppel with him being that centerpiece. But I don't want to do that. I do want to see all 3 of these guys on the floor, the big 3. It was frustrating last night watching this game, and seeing LaMelo Ball just play the way he's playing, but I feel like I I definitely overreacted. Um, you know, I could see a possibility where it makes sense to move Ball, but really he's one of those talents you don't really move. Like, but again, like you want to play devil's advocate. The Charlotte Hornets haven't made the playoffs with him, unless you want to count the play-in bursts. But I don't know if I count those. It's just to me, I the playoffs are 1 through 8. Not this play-in tournament that's basically single game elimination. I think you're in your 6th year with LaMelo Ball. You got Brandon Miller going in his 3rd year. I just don't know when it will be time to say maybe Ball needs a fresh start. And maybe that's not the time right now. But when you look at the stats last night, how about just the stats in November? He's only made 7 of his last 32 3-point attempts in the month of November. That's 22% from deep. And that's uncharacteristic of Ball. You know, law of averages says he'll get back in those 30s, but even then, it's just like, man. Like, I know he's not the most efficient shooter on some nights, but you can clearly see that bad ankle is still giving him issues. That's what I saw on the court. Motion looks slightly altered. He's playing more passively, not finishing at the rim cleanly. It doesn't look like he's fully healthy. And will he ever be? I think he will. But then again, there's always that cloud of mystery to say maybe Ball is. I mean, I don't want him put him on the Lonzo Ball injury path, but think about Ball, it's just injuries derailed his career too. So you know, I just think LaMelo Ball. You look at the stats last night. 18 points, 5 for 21 from the field. Took 21 shots. I led the team. Only made 2 of 11 threes. Made all of his free throws, though. He's getting to the free throw line. 7 rebounds, 9 assists, 6 turnovers, 2 steals. He's doing things well. Melo Ball. I mean, this offense is better with him on the court. But it just felt like every one-legged step-back three-pointer, 30-footer that he took, it just wasn't going in. And it's a lost possession at that point. A lot of times they'll get that ball running in transition and score an easy 2 or 3. And it just, I think the Hornets, and then Ball will continuously do that if he feels like the team is down some and he's got to get the team back. And if he's cold, then you get nights like these. And I'm not sure how Charles Lee hasn't kind of gotten into his head that, hey, maybe when you're ice cold from deep, don't keep taking those shots. Let your other guys create. We have capable scorers on the team. Set them up, because LaMelo does that very well. He can set the offense. He can find open looks. He can make crazy passes, half-court lobs, things like that. So, but like going back to the Pacers game, that was, and you saw it from fans. You're on social media or anything. Like, Hornets fans were not pleased at that game. Like, when Jay Huff goes for like a career high, like he scored 20 points. Like, stretch fives are gonna just dismantle Ryan Kalkbrenner. Just because Kalkbrenner, as good as he's been in certain departments, he does have his weaknesses, and I don't know if he'll ever be able to overcome those. Is he quick enough to stay on the perimeter and guard that guy like an Embiid, like a Jay Huff? Is he quick enough to get back into position when they drive on him? Like, stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know yet. It looks like stretch fives are going to be his weakness, but we'll see. So I just think in the paint they got destroyed too. So not a lot of good stuff to take when you give the Indiana Pacers their second win of the season. It's just, it's not good. But But yeah, I won't go into too much specifics of the game, but just wanted to talk about a few things from last night and kind of give my thoughts. It's not an instant reaction, so it's, I think at the end of the day, if you get Brandon Miller back on the court with LaMelo Ball, with Kon Knueppel, technically they're undefeated. Yes, they only beat the Brooklyn Nets, but when they're healthy and playing on the floor with considerable minutes, they are undefeated. One win on the season, one game with them playing together. But I'm gonna hold on to that because I will say you can beat the Clippers, I think, if this team is healthy. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to talk about tanking right now. I think it's still early in the season, but boy, there's some good prospects. Like every time I lose, there's Darren Peterson. He pops up in my head. Caleb Wilson. Like there's guys that just pop up. I'm like, all right, let's look towards the future. But we'll see. I digress. That's going to be it for this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into the 6 Hornet Podcast. We're live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Take care, everyone.